Hey everyone, Nightharo here. So I was getting together for a friendly game of Civ 6 with some friends the other day, and I asked everybody, hey, what am I getting into? Is this like a win at all costs kind of game, or like what was friendly game? What are we doing? And after I asked that, I was told to win at any cost, and so I was like, okay, so broken civs, we're fine. And I was told the more broken, the better. Here, I'll just pop up the conversation here. So I didn't want to go too crazy, but let's be real. I wanted to make sure I was going to win. So, or at least had a fighting chance. So a lot of these guys are really, really good players and play a lot of other games, but they haven't been playing Civ nearly as much as I have. And that became apparent when we were playing. But one of the Nates, there was two Nates we were playing with, was a little bit newer to Civilization, and apparently he had went out and Googled and was looking for a build, and he couldn't really find one. He found one, he tried it, didn't work super well. And after the fact, I was like, hey, what did you Google? And he told me best Civ 6 strat. So he was looking for a YouTube. So I'm kind of making this video for Nate to kind of explain to him. All right, that's a lot of a preamble, but I just wanted to tell the story. I thought it was really fun, and I had a great time. If you're interested in getting in some shenanigans, we are playing in the Discord. It's linked up in the channel above. But let's go ahead and get into it and talk about this build. So this is not a PvP build. Like, we're not playing in like a league kind of modified game with league add-ons or anything like that. This is just kind of standard Civ 6, by the way. And I am playing as Pedro, although this strategy can work with several other Civs. And basically what we're going to do here is kind of a normal opener. We do want to get as much faith as quickly as we can so that we can choose a pantheon. And the pantheon we're going to choose is called Sacred Path. And what this does, it allows our holy sites to get +1 faith from adjacent rainforest. Now we are playing as Pedro, and Pedro already gets +1 faith from adjacent rainforests. So what this means is for every rainforest, and as Pedro, we're always going to have a ton of rainforest near us, we're going to get +2 faith, which is really great. That's awesome. Getting a ton of faith is always a good thing. But now we're going to ask ourselves, well, how can we make this better? Well, one of the ways we can make this better is by researching theology. And I say researching, it's actually in the cultural track. And the reason we want to research theology is because the economics policy card, Scripture, gives us +100% holy site adjacency bonuses. So for those doing the math here, we get +1 for rainforests. We've turned that now into +2, and now we've doubled that. And so what you'll tend to see is things like this, where we have a +7 holy site, and that is before we've doubled it. So this is going to be a +14 holy site, and honestly, you can do much better than this, but this is a decent holy site that we have here. So we're doubling our faith from +7 to +14. So that's great. We have made this better. But wait, there's more. But honestly, this isn't too broken, right? I mean, we're getting a lot of faith. There's a lot of really cool things we can do with that, but this isn't super broken. And we were told to make this as broken as possible, right? That was part of the assignment. At least that's how I read it. So we are going to want to get a great profit, and we can use some of our faith if we need to buy a great profit if they're going quickly. And then what we want to choose is work ethic. Now, I have chosen the Partyology religion. I have founded, since we're kind of a party guy here, I have founded Partyology, and we have work ethic. And what work ethic does is it gives us production equal to the faith adjacency bonuses of our holy sites. That's right. That means that +14 faith is now going to be +14 production. And what this allows us to do is win the game. And I say that not really joking. Having that much production this early in the game basically ensures that you are in the top tier. You're going to be pumping out anything and everything you want. And if you want to pivot and go culture, you'll be able to pump out wonders in all of your cities. If you want to pivot and go science, you're going to be able to make sure all your science districts are fully maxed out, so on and so forth. It makes it really good. So what this means is pretty much in every city we found, the first thing we're going to do is build a holy site. And as soon as we got the holy site down, we'll be getting a ton of production, and then we can use that to boost everything else that city is doing. Build monuments, build granaries, whatever we need, pump out units, anything we need. We have tons of production, and we can do it now. So every new city, first thing we do is we throw down a holy site. But I still don't think we quite have a build guide yet, okay? We figured out something super broken to do. The next thing I would do after you drop your first holy site in a city, that's the first thing you do, is that you're going to go preserves. Because what we have is Pedro, our rainforest, instead of providing -1 appeal, it's actually +1 appeal. So tons of our area is breathtaking. So if you can find an area in the middle of a bunch of rainforest and plop down a preserve in the middle of it, you can get some crazy yields from preserves. And the best part of that is that you get extra food, which allows you to grow your city faster, and it allows you to put down more districts because your city is larger, as well as the housing it's also going to provide. And faith and culture, again, it's pretty broken. So we're going to go holy site districts, and then after that, we're just going to pump out preserves. Now, I didn't do it too crazy in this game. I was going with a lot of science, but I really think the preserves is generally the way to go. But again, you can do whatever you want. So holy site, then preserve as our second district in each one of our cities. But wait, I said this was going to be broken. So how do we do that? Well, one of the ways we do that, even if we don't get a golden era the first time or whatever, what we want to do is choose Exodus of the Evangelist. And what this will do, it will give us +2 era score each time we convert a city to our founding religion. And because we're getting all this faith, we're going to be able to buy a couple of apostles, and we're going to be able to spread our religion and easily make it to a golden era. Even if we don't get it the first time, we will absolutely be able to get it the second time, or during the second era. Now, when we do finally get our golden era, what we're going to choose is Monumentality. And what Monumentality lets us do is it lets us buy civilian units with faith, specifically builders and settlers. And it also gives all of our builders +2 movement, which is just kind of a nice bonus. And not only can we buy them with faith, they're also 30% cheaper to buy with faith or with gold, which we could always do. So we can turn all that crazy faith that we're getting, and instead of having to build units, settlers and builders with it, we could just buy them, and we can use all that production to do other things to boost our empire. And you can just print units with this. I mean, it is crazy. You can just print them. I actually will sometimes make extra ones during that era and just leave them sitting around because I don't have anywhere to send them just yet. And I actually did that in this game. And so now you've got all the builders, you've got all the settlers, you've got all the production. Seems like we're doing pretty good. But wait, there's more. After all, the assignment was to make it as broken as possible. Okay, the more broken, the better. That's what we're going for here. And we'll actually go back in time just a little bit on this, okay? So we've got our first holy site. We made sure we got our religion. Maybe we've pumped out a settler or two. It's about time for the government plaza. So we're going to plop one of those down. And what we're going to choose, we're going to make sure that the building we choose is the ancestral hall. And the reason for that, it does give us +50% increase to production of settlers, but we've already kind of established we're going to eventually be able to print as many settlers as we want. Probably not quite at this point yet, so we might still use this. But the other thing it does is it gives us a free builder whenever we found that city. So for the rest of the game, we're going to get a free builder whenever we're founding a city. Now, you could go with some other options. There is Warlord's Throne. If you just want to be going to war with all that production that you got, you could do that. But that's not part of this build today. For us, we're just going to go the macro route. We're building settlers, we're buying settlers, and we're getting free builders. And then eventually, we're going to unlock this second building in the medieval era, and that is the Grand Master's Chapel. And what this allows us to do is purchase military units with faith. This is huge. So we've got all this production going. We've printed out all the civilian units we could possibly ever want. And now each one of those cities is giving us more faith and more production. And now we can use all of that faith to just buy units. And I use this heavily. I don't think I ever made the slow way a unit throughout this entire game. Maybe I made a couple, but you can just print units anytime you need it. And this is really helpful because what you can do, since you can make them instantly, is you could just kind of bank up this faith and not do anything with it unless you need it. And so you don't have to be paying the upkeep costs of an army, but in 1 or 2 turns, you can print out quite a few units and then move them around to where they need to go. And I think at that point, when you can just print units, you have all the production you need, but you don't need to spend it on military units or civilian units. You only need to build more structures, more wonders, and generally just win the game. Maybe throw parties, you're Pedro. Just carnival for everyone, and just pump out as many great people points as you want. But from there, you really can do whatever you want. And at this point, if you manage to do all these things, honestly, you're pretty well on your way to winning the game. Certainly with any normal friends that might be playing, and you'll also do great against the computer. If you liked this video, you thought it was helpful, you thought it was fun, don't forget to subscribe and let me know by leaving a like or subscribing to the channel, and that will let me know, hey, you guys like these kind of videos, and I'll do more of them. I've got plenty of broken Civ 6 builds I would love to showcase, and if they're as fun for everybody else as they are for me, then I'd love to keep making them. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. You looking at Beijing, Palm?
What do you mean?
Are you looking at
Are you looking at Beijing?
No.
It's a nice city, man. Be ashamed if something happened to it.